Good morning, everyone. We appreciate your being here today so that we can explain our first ever Gift Cards for Guns event. It will take place Saturday, but today not only will you hear why this is needed, you will see why it's needed. This is just a small sample of guns taken off the streets of Prince George's County, and we're hoping Saturday's event only adds to this collection. Similar programs have been called gun buybacks, but police departments are not in the business of selling guns in the first place, so therefore we're not buying them back. We're calling this gift cards for guns because we are offering prepaid gift cards for residents who turn in their guns to us. This morning, Chief Mark McGaugh will explain how the PGPD is working to remove guns from our streets. Bob Ross, president of the Prince George's County branch of the NAACP, will talk about his group's efforts to reduce gun violence, as will a leader of a local faith-based group. Our Crime Solvers president is here, and Major Ray Gordon will explain how Saturday's event will work. And finally, the main reason why we're all here today, Ms. Florina Carter, who is a Prince George's County resident, can perhaps explain better than any of us can why this Saturday's event is important. She's a gun violence survivor. It devastated her family. It took her son from her as well as her brother, and she will wrap up this morning's news conference. But for now, we're going to begin with Chief McGaugh.
Thank you, and good morning. Thanks for being here today. I'd like to thank our community partners, NAACP, Mr. Ross, representatives from PRISM, Ms. Carter, thank you for being here today. Members of my advisory council and members of the Crime Solvers Board, thank you for being here today with us. I'd also like to thank the Department of Youth and Family Services for their assistance in the Gift Cards for Guns program. The topic of gun violence is something that police departments across the country, along with lawmakers, community groups, have been grappling with, and Prince George's County is no different. Although homicides in Prince George's County are down 49% from last year, the vast majority of those homicides have occurred using handguns. So far this year, we've already recovered 520 handguns from the streets of Prince George's County. The department has made reducing gun violence a priority. Mr. Baker's Transforming Neighborhoods initiative is devoting extra county resources aimed at reducing gun violence along with other criminal activity in certain communities. Community legislation is going to be introduced by Mr. Baker's office in the very near future, establishing a gun offender registry. This initiative, we believe, will continue to drive down gun violence. Since the beginning of this year, our department has strengthened its partnerships with ATF and has been working with the Police Executive Research Forum in developing a nationwide gun reduction strategy. The other cities involved in this with PERF are St. Louis, Missouri, Camden, New Jersey, and Sacramento, California. But our work to reduce gun violence is far from over. One small yet symbolic step begins on Saturday. We're asking people to turn in their guns, old guns, new guns, guns that work, ones that don't. We don't care. Take them out of your house and get them off our streets. Give a gun, get a gift card. It's really that easy. No questions asked. All we ask is that you place a weapon or weapons, unload it in your trunk, and we'll do the rest. To my right, like Julie said, are some of the guns we've taken off the streets of Prince George's County. We're looking to take more guns. We want more guns off the street, and we'll pay to make that happen. That's basically the bottom line of this program. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Bob Ross is the president of the local branch of the NAACP. Mr. Ross.
Good morning. My name is Bob Ross, president of Prince George's County NAACP. And I was just sitting there thinking, it's been 40 years ago in 1973. I was a student at Penn State College. Got a phone call in August, and the call came that Kelly had got killed. Kelly Lane. Kelly Lane was 6 years old, and he used to call me Uncle Rah-Rah. And I was just sitting there thinking about that when Judy was talking. That's why it's important to get guns off the street. She was caught in a crossfire of a gang war in Philadelphia up on Diamond Street. So I encourage everybody If you have a gun in your home, particularly if a loved one had passed away and you have some guns, you don't know what to do with it, turn it in. If you have a gun that you found, turn it in. Please encourage any of your loved ones that may have weapons that are illegal weapons to turn them in, because you may save someone's life. Kelly would have been 48 years old this year if she had not got caught in that crossfire. So that's why we support the gun buyback program and encourage everyone to be involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. Reverend Kathy Holschwayo is with PRISM, or the Partnership for Renewal in Southern and Central Maryland. They represent about 50,000 people in both Prince George's and Calvert counties, and they perform community work focused on the sale of illegal guns. Reverend?
And yes, I'm standing up. It's always kind of a joke because I'm so short. But I wanted to just recall a few years ago, I think it was an article that was done by the Washington Post that talked about the sale of guns and how many of those guns came from the Rialto gun shop on Marlboro Pike in District Heights. One of the realities for me and for many folks who have worked with PRISM and the Public Safety Task Force is that these guns seem to have managed to get into so many places in our communities, and among them were young people. I was a pastor for 9.5 years in Suitland and worked a great deal in an area that was considered a hot spot and an area that obviously had a multitude of homicides, many of them being young people. There can be nothing more devastating than a death of your son or your daughter or any family member, especially by gun violence. It devastates not just to that family forever, it changes their life forever. It's very difficult sometimes for them to even move on. But it also affects entire communities. To be at a funeral or to preside at a funeral where a young person has died as a result of such kinds of events is one of the most traumatic and chaotic events you can ever attend. It's not something that you can ever forget. For that reason, PRISM has been engaged in working together, trying to get more people involved to see that this is something that we must do together. If we do not do it together, it will never get done. Nothing will ever change. I think that the commitment of the police department, our county executive, and so many other people working together with the NAACP or with PRISM is the way that we cause and effect and change and really do transform communities. And so this Gift Cards for Guns program, yes, it's the first event, but there will be many more because this will increase awareness and it will make an ongoing commitment be something that will be first in our hearts and our minds to make our communities those transformed ones that we all want to see. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend. There's another way that we encourage people to participate in crime-fighting activities in Prince George's County, and that is through Crime Solvers. And Tim Murphy is the president of our Crime Solvers group here in Prince George's County, and here to explain what role that organization plays in taking guns off the streets. Tim?
Thank you, Ms. Parker and Chief McGaugh, for allowing Crime Solvers to speak today. My name is Tim Murphy. I'm president of Prince George's County Crime Solvers. What Crime Solvers is, we're a nonprofit organization. We have a board of citizens and business owners, and we raise money so we can give anonymous rewards to tipsters that will call in our tip line. We will then provide the tips to the police department and help them solve crime. Crime Solvers is a supporter of the gift cards for gun programs. We hope the county will have more of these programs in the future. However, if we don't, or if we do, and you know someone, the citizens, if you know someone has illegal guns, you can contact Prince George's County Crime Solvers, remain anonymous. You can go to our website, pgcrimesolvers.com, and then we'll forward the tips for any illegal guns to the police department. We offer rewards up to $1,000. Again, thank you, Ms. Parker, Chief McGaw, and we'll support the police department. Thank you.
The Gift Cards for Guns event is this Saturday, and Major Ray Gordon has spent a lot of time putting it together. He's got all the specifics to explain how it will work, and after Major Gordon, we're going to hear from Ms. Carter. Major.
Good morning, everyone. Basically, what we tried to do is make this as citizen-friendly as possible. The location of the event is going to be 6801 Sheriff Road at First Baptist Church of Highland Park. The time for the event is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And basically, we're going to have uniformed officers at the church. When citizens come up in their vehicles, they're going to ask, basically, are you here for the gun, the gun turn-in program? If they say yes, we're going to direct them into the lot, ask them to, have the weapon in their trunk, safely unloaded or unloaded to the best of their ability. The officers would then take custody of the weapon and make sure it's safely unloaded and secure. At that point, the citizen will be asked to go into the church and they'll receive their gift card. And that's all that's to it for the citizen. Once they get their gift card, they're free to leave. Also, if you have any ammunition at your house or anything like that, if you want to get rid of that, we're there to take custody of that also. Thank you.
Thank you, Major. And last but certainly not least is Ms. Florina Carter. She is a Hyattsville resident. You can come on up. And she's here to describe a day in her life that she will never forget. And we appreciate her being here to explain her story. Ms. Carter?
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank God for giving me my sanity and the strength to be here to share my story. On July the 7th, 2009, my husband lost his battle with leukemia, and I thought I was devastated. 5 short months after that, on December the 13th, 2009, my 28-year-old son and only child was shot and killed by one of my younger brothers. They went out that weekend to celebrate my brother's birthday, and after celebrating, my brother drove himself and my brother back to my brother's house. My brother got into a verbal confrontation with his wife and decided he wanted to leave and was basically irate. My son attempted verbally and physically to stop my brother from getting into his vehicle in an intoxicated state and driving. So as a result, my brother pulled out a .45 Magnum and they struggled over the gun. 2 shots were fired. One of the shots hit my son in his neck. My son turned and fell face down into my brother's driveway. My brother then stood over my son and put 2 additional shots in his back, with 1 shot lodging into my son's heart. 6 months after that, my father, in a depressed state, put a gun to his head and shot and killed himself. So I thank God for this program. No mother should have to bury her child. The act of gun violence is brief, but the effects last a lifetime. And it's not affecting just the black neighborhoods and the white neighborhoods. It affects us as a people, because this is something that everybody's going to have to deal with. So I thank God for this program. I thank all of the people that are involved, and I pray that we collect a lot of guns. And thank you for listening.
So thank you for being here. We'll have additional details on the Gift Cards for Guns events this Saturday. We'll put it out through the Media Relations Division. Anyone have any questions? The gift cards run up to $100 depending on the type of gun turned in. Semi-automatic weapons, rifles, handguns.
What type of weapon might get a smaller amount of a gift card or a larger amount of a
A semi-automatic weapon would be an example of something that would earn a $100 gift card. A smaller caliber handgun, a Glock, 9mm, $25 gift card.
And the ammunition, does that garner any cards?
No.
Are there multiple gift cards for multiple guns turned in?
Yes. Bring in more than one gun, get more than one gift card. All right, thank you very much.